Hey, this is Brian from Wright732.com and fitin.com, P-H-I-T-I-N. It'll be launching soon. Beta version should be going up in a couple weeks. So, I'm thinking a lot about things. The industry is what the industry is when it comes to martial arts and fitness. And now martial arts I'm going to primarily delve into here. So there's a ton of organizations out there. There's a ton of styles, there's a ton of groups, there's a ton of schools, there's a ton of dojos, gyms, whatever. And one thing that we run into is because you get rank or you say you're part of a group, a lot of people get into the mindset that, you know, once you're in, and it is what it is. It's kind of like a gang mentality. So because you get a high level rank, let's say you get a black belt, let's say you get a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, or you get a karate black belt, people are, they look at it as you're now a senior member of this style. And now there's other responsibilities that come along to it. And there's a level of loyalty that's expected for it. And the one thing that I'm really wrapping my head around in 2016, differently than I did when I was younger, when I was younger, I subscribed completely to this philosophy of you're part of a lineage, you're part of a group, and you have a responsibility and all these things. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with getting a black belt in something and then having a loyalty to that something because you've devoted time and effort and whatnot into it. But let's get down to the other side of it. The reality of it is that you run a business, you accept money from people to provide a service. Now, you don't have a caveat that you're going to accept their money in exchange for loyalty or some lifetime commitment. You're accepting someone comes to you and says, I like what you're doing, I want to do it. You say, fine, this is what it costs. You charge them. And then when promotion time comes, you say, you have to demonstrate ability to a certain level, and you have to pay me a certain amount of money. And they demonstrate their level, and they pay you the money, and you give them the rank. Again, there's no caveat for service time. Like, because someone gets a blue belt doesn't mean they have to be friends with you for life. Because someone gets a black belt, they don't have to teach for free for life. This is a contractual situation. You are making your living teaching martial arts. You sell the markers that people use to judge their skill or represent their skill. And they do represent you. But the sitch here is no one owes you anything. They gave you what you asked. You asked, learn, demonstrate, pay. They've done that. So what more do you want? If you want anything more, that means as a business owner, as an instructor, you have to continue to provide value that's going to make that person want to participate in your business, to stay a member of your organization that provides you the money you need to continue running your organization and living your lifestyle. So break that down and get out of your ego, which says this person's coming and taking my whatever. Because what you think is so world-class and world-famous, there are a lot of people that are not going to care. And there are other people teaching what you think is inferior, but is the best thing in the world to another group of people. Value is value, the market's market. The market dictates everything. Your value, as you can communicate it, as you can create it with your customer, is the only thing that matters. So, if your value is based on fear of retribution, you have no value. If your value is based on a continuing education and the ability to participate in an organization that provides something, that's the value. So you get over yourself. Get over your name. Get over your rank. Get over your organization. Get over all the crap that you've put out there as excuses and reasons why you can slander somebody, physically abuse somebody, talk crap about somebody that just happened to move on. I've had a lot of people come and I've had a lot of people go. And there was a point in my life I used to get really, really upset about all of it. But I don't anymore. Because when people go, it's because I didn't communicate clearly. The value changed for them. Someone may have had a value at a certain point in their life off what I'm doing. Now they've discovered value somewhere else or something else, whatever. That's their responsibility. That's their opportunity, whatever you want to call it. We're all adults here. We're grown people. We can make decisions for ourselves. No one owes you anything. No one owes me anything. Nobody owes anyone anything except the contractual agreement you have. So if someone is paying monthly tuition for a service, provide the damn service. If someone pays to get their rank, provide them with that rank. You know, someone's with you and they leave, their certificate doesn't have less value. Someone's a black belt with you, right? They leave, they go, they start training somewhere else. You may not recognize them as a participating member of your organization, but they still did everything they needed to be of a value of a certain time that provided them the rank they had. That doesn't change. They put the time in, they put the money in, they proved to you they were worth something and you gave it to them. That didn't change. They did what they did. Now they're doing something else. Move on. Go find the next crop of people and hold on to them by being better and providing a better level of service. Again, it's not about creating a level of fear so that people are afraid to leave you or brainwashing them to think loyalty is this massive sacrificial thing. It's bullshit, man. And if you're buying into that and selling that, you're not a good person. I'm sorry. If you think your organization is so important, provide value. What's the value? What's a value on a daily basis? Again, someone's training with you a couple times a week. What is that 3 or 4 hours with you and all that money that you've collected from them? What is the value of that? Define that. I can define my value for my students, and when it's not there anymore and they move on, that's on me, not on them. They decided to go where the greatest value for their buck is in their life. That's their responsibility to themselves. What's wrong with that? Nothing. I've had people that are black belts of mine that train in other things. You know, they're not active black belts in my group, but I can't disparage them for the things they did while they're with me. They might go do something that I may not agree with or like, but whatever, that's their choice. They can go do it. I mean, for me to sit there and badmouth people that left me to go do other things, I'm just pointing out my inferiority. I'm pointing out that I didn't have the ability to maintain that level of interest for them. For me, at this point in my life, I would rather people, if they're not satisfied, go do something else and maintain a relationship with them so that they're respectful to the time that we had together, and I'm respectful to that time, but I'm also respectful of them as a person to say, you know what, if you want to go do something else, I'm respecting that you find value differently right now, and that's okay. That's really uncommon. I wasn't always this way, guys. This is a new thing for me. This is one of those revelations when you wake up and you go, shit, I've been an asshole for a long time. We've all been assholes for a long time. Any of us that are selling this fake family loyalty crap. You know, people in your school, they're not your friends, they're not your family. And when I say they're your customers, I don't say that from a purely transactional relationship way. They're your consumers, and you have to take care of them. You have to provide value for the dollars that they invest in your business. They're the lifeblood to your ability to live the dream. I mean, you're running a school for a living. You're living the dream. You're doing what you want to do the way you want to do it, how you want to do it. There's not that many people that get to do that. And the only thing you can do to maintain that is provide value to your customers. And you got to remember, these people are not your friends. These are your customers. These are people that you can be friendly with, but they're not really your friends, and they're never going to be your real family. I mean, you have money exchanging hands. If you're doing this for free, that's different. Like if your entire school is training for free and the only exchange you've got is some kind of loyalty, that's different. But if you're taking money from them and providing a service, just provide that service with the greatest value possible. And make sure that you understand the value that your students are looking for so that you can guarantee that you're providing the value that they want. And if you're not providing the value that they want, don't be surprised when they go. And if your sense of value is not gelling with the people you've got, find other people that subscribe to that. And if you can't find people that subscribe to that, you need to get out of this business. Because again, the marketplace dictates everything. Like, you want to teach fighting with knitting needles, but nobody wants to do it? I'm sorry, no matter how many amazing things you can do with knitting needles, nobody's going to want to do it. Or maybe they will. Look at full contact karate. Like Kyokushin style karate. You know, 15 years ago, you would go to like the US Open in New York and you have 100 competitors. Now you go and it's like 20 guys that they have trouble stringing together from around the world. You know, full contact karate, it's on the down. Who knows? It may come back, it may not. But you can't force it. The marketplace is the marketplace. You know, if you're an old school Kyokushin guy, you do the best you can to communicate the values of what you do. You develop the school the best you can. You try and work with what's going on in the marketplace. I'm not saying it's impossible to create a large gym, but, you know, the odds are stacked against you right now. Don't wish it was 1985 when that was like the thing. Understand it's 2016 and you got to market differently if you're going to capture a new student. Or you got to do something else if you want to stay in the industry. So, you know, it's being flexible, and it's not hating on people because they don't want to do what you want to do. It's understanding it. Again, the market's the market. Your value's your value. So when you're sitting around getting all pissed off because people left you, it's your fault. You stopped providing that value. Or it's not your fault. Maybe it's the guy's job changed. Maybe the person's body doesn't have the ability to do what you do anymore. You know, maybe you're a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructor and some of your aging clients that have been with you for 15 years are starting to get bad backs from fighting off guard. You get a guy who's a heavy guard player, starts to get lower back problems to the point they can't pull guard anymore, and they don't want to do it because they've got family and they've got jobs, and jiu-jitsu is not their life. It's something they do as a hobby. You know, they're happy for the time spent, but they just don't want the pain anymore. Oh, well, that's life. That's the way it goes. It evolves. Stay their friend. Appreciate that they would like to do it, but it's just not for them right now. If you want to be their friend, be their associate at that point. They're not paying you anymore. Now you can be friends. As long as they're paying you, provide service, provide value. I'm going to hammer this over and over and over again, guys. It's all about your value. It's not about your rank. It's not about your titles. It's not about where you've been or what you've done. It's about your ability to communicate things and provide value for your customers, period. So that guy that you're making fun of down the street who hasn't done a quarter of the shit you've done but is providing value to your local community and is killing you, he's doing it, man. You're falling short on that because you forgot the number one thing. It's not about you. It's about your customer. It's not about your rank. It's not about loyalty. You're not a gang. What are you running a gang? You're head of some mob family? Come on. What are you going to do? You're going to start physically assaulting people because they decided that, you know, your style is just not for them anymore? Give me a break. That's not what martial arts is about. It's about building community, not gangs. People don't owe you physical violence because they don't agree with you anymore. So, you know, wake up. Wake up. Do business. Do good business. Provide the highest value possible for your customers, period. And get your head out of your ass when it comes to your organizations and all that stuff. So, you know, it's not about the tournament victories. It's not about all that competitive crap. It's about what is that 1, 2, 3, 4 hours a week going to do to make somebody else's life better. That's our job. We're in the service industry. Muhammad Ali passed away last week. And there's a quote that I can't get out of my head that he made. And it was the quote that service is the rent we pay for the room we have on earth. Think about that. It's our service to those around us that is the rent for this life. And if we have that attitude as instructors, think about how your business can fail. If you're the most giving instructor in town, not the one who takes the most and demands the most, but the guy who gives the most and gets the most back in return, how are you ever going to fail? Do you want a business that's going to last for weeks or months or years, or do you want decades? I'm going into my second decade of running my school. The way I'm running it now, I could run it for the rest of my life and be happy. It's because I got my head out of my ass. I'm providing service. Service, service, service. That's how I pay my rent in my fucking gym. It's not about life. Service to humanity? No. Service to my customer base is how I pay my rent in my freaking gym. That's how you pay. That's how you make your living. That's how you put food on your table. That's how you provide insurance for your family, gas in the car, you know, pay your mortgage, all that crap. So provide service. Stop with the forced loyalty and get over it. When people leave, don't yell at them. Look inward and say, where did I go wrong in providing value? All right? Enough preaching for the day. Go think. What's your value? How are you going to communicate it? Let's go.